What's up, everybody? Friday in action here. The Philly special. Shout out to everybody in the chat hanging out on a glorious Friday night when A.J. Brown is clowned. WIP, if you haven't already, hit the like button for A.J. Brown. We're supporting him, obviously. I mean, I had to wear an A.J. Brown jersey. Come on. I mean, there's not a better way to celebrate or go with AJ and the interview. I'm curious to get everybody's take. I'm sure there's already been, comments and everything else. And if you listen to it, you know how great it was. He didn't even need to do that. He didn't have to go on there. But like he said, he stood up to the bully and, said similar things from what he already did, but he clarified it again, being like, hey, look, this is what's going on. Thank you, Mason, for calling me out. I'm late. Yes, we just had the member stream, by the way. So for people, Hungry Dogs tier and Breed of One, we ran long on that. We had a great time, but it's a Zoom call, way to kind of interaction face to face. But we're here and we're gonna give away an AJ Brown jersey. So again, if you have not gotten in on the giveaway chance or signed up for it in a way, I've got a link in the description. Check it out. It's the most recent video that I posted. All you got to do is go comment always open. Go comment always open on that video. And we're going to do a randomized spinner. I got the app here. It pulls all the comments that say always open. So it's plain and simple. Go do that if you haven't already. And we're going to do that here in just a bit. Give a little bit of time. Make sure that anybody who has not been able to go do that can quickly go make a comment. And then we're going to give away an AJ Brown jersey. Because we have to, right? I mean, after what he did today, people bashing him. I should say people. The media bashing him. And the rumors and speculation and everything else, just ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, AJ's a stud. He's not a TO as opposed to some comments or commentators about that. But I mean, yeah, kudos to AJ for going on there and calling him out, speaking the truth. Like you said, standing up to a bully. Yeah. Let's throw this one up here. There was the shout out to Philly Dogs too, if you're not following Philly Dogs on Twitter. But yeah, the comment from the interview. That's the reason I'm on the show today. I'm the person who stands up to the bully. AJ is a dog. Yeah, also if you've not already, let me know where you're listening from and I will give you a shout out. You can comment always open. You can use the emojis. That's pretty cool too. If you remember, the emoji always open is there. I created it for that very reason. But you got to comment always open on my previous video. So I appreciate the always opens now just to make sure in case there's any confusion. G, what's up? Michael H, Eagles fan. Go Phillies. Hi, Josh. How long do you think you're going to be on for? I don't exactly know, honestly. I mean, it's kind of making sure the wife's okay and we're good with the kiddos, but I'm thinking an hour and a half-ish maybe. We'll see. We might go a little bit longer. Just depends on what you guys want to talk about. It's a Friday night hangout, so, we don't have a full agenda. Obviously, got to talk about AJ and some of the cap space and potential moves for Haason Reddick. Got to give away the AJ Brown jersey, but yeah, probably hour and a half. And I'll give it, who knows? We'll give it maybe, we'll see, but I'm thinking like 30-ish minutes just to make sure everybody can get over there, comment the always open, and have a chance to win the jersey. Then we'll spin for that too. So, yeah, that's what we're thinking anyway. But I hope everybody's doing well. Marty, what's up? Fitness Warrior, how's it going? LA Kid, Tracy Ann, let's run it. Let's see. John, how's it going? Jay, what's up? Philly fan, Kramer. Shout out to Ryan, was just in the member stream. Anthony Carosi, what's up? Carla, Brendan Jackson. Abigail, you want your money back? We're late. Yeah, sorry. We're here, though. It just takes a while. Young Truth, what's up? The $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Alvaro, I told you, right? You did. You said it, and I was thinking no. But they did. They signed him. Amazingly. Maybe not amazingly, but surprisingly, they did sign him. I didn't think they would, but, hey, they re-signed Alberto. Feel like there's some potential there. Kellen Moore does use the tight end more than Sirianni has in the past in his system. So maybe you get a little bit more productivity out of Alberto. But yeah, for anybody who did not see or was not made aware, Aquabunum, I think that's how you say his name. I probably butchered it still, but was re-signed for 1 year, and he'll have a chance to compete for tight end 2. I would imagine that Stoll will come back. He's a restricted free agent. Calcaterra is already coming back too, so we'll see. But I don't mind admitting I was wrong. You did tell me that Alberto was going to be here, or that they were looking into him. So shout out to you for that. You got it. Shout out to Chris too. Breed of One. Daniel listening from Chino, California. There you go. Philly 416. What's up, Eagles Nation? Scott says, need that AJ jersey. All my jerseys are the B-Doc vintage. Let's go. Scott listening from Toronto, Canada. Heck yeah. Fanny says, Swole Batman. That's the guy. Devontae, what's up? Says, how are you feeling tonight? Pretty good. Yeah. You know, a little bit low on sleep, but not crazy low. We're doing good though. Blessed. Kubichi, what's up? Yeah, Frank here says, proud of AJ for standing up for himself and his team. Kudos. That is me too. I was, he didn't have to. Didn't have to do it. But, I mean, he answered anything and everything from, does he still want to be in Philly, to is he upset with the team and the comments with Jalen and everything else. I encourage you, if you haven't already listened to the interview, go and listen to it. I'll retweet it again. If you don't want to support WIP, there is a link actually that Philly Dogs, I think Philly Dogs was the first one that I saw, but they posted the entire video from, or the audio, I should say, from WIP, and even made the comment, so you don't have to support WIP. You can listen to it here. So if you want to do that, you're welcome. I've retweeted it. You can also search for it again. It's all over the place. But yes, if you've not heard it, it's a great interview. And again, from everything that he said and stood up for, you know, it's I don't think it's super surprising for people that have been following the team and know what AJ is about. But for, you know, the media or some people that want to paint a different picture than what is reality or what is truth, it was just setting the record straight. And I think it was great. Like AJ said, I want to be here. It's as simple as that. I love where I'm at. He said, I love Philly. He also said, you know, Philly, I love you guys. For any of those that are starting these rumors or keeping them going, you should find a different job. So again, kind of calling out. And he didn't say just WIP either. I mean, he mentioned a couple other, or I guess referencing some other media outlets, but pretty awesome. Clipsets says AJ, the best player on the team. He's a stud, man. He's, I mean, legit. There's obviously a reason why he's so effective and can do what he does, especially in an offense where he was not schemed open. I mean, it was literally have to beat him one-on-one. Like, there was not hardly a single time where he has actually, you know, schemed open to help him do his job. It's just, he's phenomenal. Speaking of Batman, Batman's twin. What's up, Josh? Keep up the good work. Fly, Eagles, fly. Appreciate it. That means a lot. Brendan Jackson, scale of 1 to 10, how important do you feel about signing Smitty's extension this offseason? I would say an 8. That's pretty high, but I may be fairly close to that, honestly. Talked about it a couple times too with just the other contracts that you have, but like receivers' contracts are going to go up higher. So, and we can get into the cap space as well. And there's some potential ramifications for Haason Reddick, but you know, it's going to reset. The market's going to get higher. I think if Smitty signs now, it'll be with the way the cap is, and I'll just pull this up so that you have a graphic of it, or at least something to look at, because I'm visual. So there you go. Salary cap explodes to $255.4 million, a 13.6% jump over last year. which is kind of crazy, and people weren't necessarily predicting that. I think the number was anywhere from like 245. Some reports started coming out later of, it's going to be 250, but 255.4. There's also talk of like, paying back the or I guess finally fully recovering from the COVID ramifications that kind of like lessened the cap. So, hey, it's crazy. I mean, media, content creation, consuming the NFL product has led to a $255 million cap, which is a benefit. But yeah, the question of Smitty, it's going to be important because if you don't sign it now, he might sign a contract that is going to be a little bit shocking to people, but you have to take into consideration it's with this new cap. So like deals that players are going to sign this offseason or in free agency, I would just encourage you to temper expectations in the sense of if you see a number that looks alarming, just remember the salary cap has increased 13.6%. So it's not as crazy as it might look. You're going to have a lot of people resetting the market though, or getting very, very close to it. But yeah, I'd say let's get Smitty signed because it's only going to go up, that number from there, especially once a CeeDee Lamb signs or Justin Jefferson or, just other receivers in the market. Get him done beforehand. And Howie usually does that, so that's why I would lean towards he's probably going to. You don't save a ton if you get the extension done for this year's cap. I think it's like 600,000, maybe it's $1 million, somewhere around there. It's not much, but it's just the long-term ramifications of what you can get from the cap. So I'm with you. It's right up there. I don't know if I had to say level of priority, how important. I just want him here long-term and happy. So 7 or 8, that still feels about right. It's not a sound the alarms 10, and it has to be, but yeah, we're pretty much needing Smitty to be there from that standpoint. So I agree. In a cool tone, I'll be glad when we can leave 2023 in 2023. That's pretty good. Lehen, I may not be saying that correctly, but tuning in from Guam. Heck yeah, appreciate that. I think that might be the first time that I have heard someone from Guam. Got some other AJ support. Philly 416, AJ should call Chris Sims next. With the Devontae emoji. That's great. Yes, Scott. Respect to AJ for being the target of so much crap and letting it run off his back. Class act. He absolutely is. And by the way, his Twitter is officially his now. So if you were following the account that apparently wasn't his, he said it got hacked a week ago or something like that. He said it's back. He has control. I think there was a little bit of trolling from AJ there, which I thought was even more glorious. The fact that it was him and he was acting like it wasn't. And then, at least with the one most recently, because he said that he got it back. But yeah, hey, he comes on, answers the questions. I think it's pretty good. Cheesesteak says, yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Always half the time people are pissed. There's too many emotions every single time it happens. Ernie says, does that mean the Eagles have around $30 million in cap space? Yeah, I think it's 32 officially. Let me see. I'll pull it up here. There you go. Anthony DeBona with the info here says Eagles have 32,163,513 in cap space following the announcement of the new salary cap, according to Over the Cap. Which, by the way, awesome for Anthony. Shout out to him. Big congratulations. Anthony is with Pro Football Network. So he's an official NFL analyst of Pro Football Network. In case you don't recognize seeing Outside the Birds anymore, it is Anthony DeBona. But Definitely well-deserved. So there you go, $32 million. And then if you cut Kevin Byard, you have another, it moves it up to 45-ish million because there's about 13 million savings. So you already got a lot more room than what you were previously thinking you have. Then it comes down to the question of, what do you do with that? Which, curious to get y'all's thoughts, and I've got one as well. Let me get to the super chat real quick, though, from White Birch Acres, excuse me. Man, the 10 bomb, appreciate it. Says, can't watch this live, but still got to support. Hey, you didn't have to, but I really appreciate that. Keep up the great content. I'll listen to work tomorrow. Support from the Northeast Pennsylvania. Heck yeah, go Birds. Really appreciate that, yeah. And just again, if you have not already, make sure to comment on the last video. I've got a link in the description. Comment always open. We're going to do the giveaway here in 15-ish minutes. I still want to make sure and give enough people time to comment on the old video and get in for the randomized spinner. Appreciate the 10, though. That means a lot. And I'll show you guys, too, just so you're curious of what it looks like. Here's the number of comments that we have so far for the spinner wheel. There's way too many to see on there, so they're literally just like lines. But if you have commented, it's a live tracker, and it keeps adding. So anyone who has not commented only one time, you don't get multiple entries. But if you have not, go comment on that video, and we are going to spin the wheel here in a bit. But yes, let me answer that question too, because I saw a couple. Oscar, what's up? Says, late to the stream. What's the positive news about Haason? So that goes back to the comment that I said before of the cap space and what Anthony had brought up. You've got the $32 million. So you've got more cap space than potentially thought. And if you're looking at re-signing Haason Reddick, maybe you take a look at that and you say, hey, we've got more space than what we had planned on. 255 is the total number now for teams, and we had not thought that was going to be the case before. So now that you've got a little bit more cap space to spend, does Howie go out there and say, hey, you know what? We keep Haason here because he's obviously, a big important piece to this locker room. Now, you still have to fill a lot of holes. But again, if you're taking a look at these numbers here, 32 is where you're at right now. And then if you, and I'm just getting the graphic here so you can see it, but again, just for confirmation, 45.2 if you release Kevin Byard. And then there's a couple other moves. So let's say you're at 45, you release Avonte Maddox, which some people I know don't want to, but if you release him, I think that's kind of a given just with the injuries and things in there. Now, granted, they're post June 1, so you'd still have to factor that. But still, if you're just doing based on the numbers, you can free up some other space. Restructuring. If you get a deal done with Haason Reddick, granted, you're going to have to pay money to him. So let's say it's a $25 million deal. I think with the cap going up, so it's like a positive and a negative. The negative to it is with the cap going up, I don't think Haason Reddick has to come down from his $25 million number. Like, he can stand firm and say, nope, $25 million a year is my number. The cap just increased by almost 15%. I'm not taking a pay cut. I'm becoming higher paid than a Myles Garrett, or I'm getting right there at that number. So $25 million to me feels like if you want Haason Reddick, you got to pay $25. So sure, that's the negative. The positive is if you cut Kevin Byard, again, you're at 45. If you extend Haason Reddick, you get another 11. So you're what? You're at 56? And that's before you've done any other restructurings. Like, you could very easily get up to 60 million, 60, almost 70 million for some restructures. And I mean, that's not bad. That's I think it's around middle of the pack if you look at it in terms of NFL teams and their cap numbers and how much they have available. So it's not like we can show up like Chicago or Washington and some of the other buyers just to say, hey, we're just going to get everybody here. We can pay whatever we want to. We don't have to worry about any ramifications, basically. I know they are, but worry about major ramifications and just sign a bunch of guys. But still, that's a lot of money to work with there, especially with Howie and the way that he knows how to structure contracts, move some money around, give you a chance to win. And if you see this window too of, hey, capitalize on the talent that you have, I'm just saying, like, feels like there's a legitimate chance that you could extend Reddick, have him happy, have him stay in Philly. To me, it's the locker room presence part of it. I don't know that I would say that I expect it to happen, but I still feel like there's a chance, and I would prefer for Haason Reddick to stay here. I think that he, if you get him for another 3 years, you sign him to a, 3-year, I know 25 is steep, but it's not as steep as what it felt like before because, again, that cap just went up. So you set him to 3 for 75. I mean, I know he's going to be 30, so you're going to be asking him at 32 years old, can he still produce at 10 sacks? But I don't know, man. There's the way that Reddick prepares, the consistency that he's shown and just the uniqueness to him, I want that locker room presence, and I'm just curious who you're going to have if he leaves. You could sign some guys, but I just don't know, can they take over like he did? And that's the question there. Let's see. Got a super chat here from David. Appreciate the 5. Says, how does this increase? Let's see. Our cap space position is with other teams. I'm sorry. I'm struggling on. Let's see. It's about what we can do relative to everybody. Okay. I missed a little bit of that first part, but yeah, you're saying how does this increase cap space us compared to other teams? It's about what we can do relative to everyone else, everyone else, everyone. Yeah, I get it. No, for sure. It's everyone increases, but I'm just saying in terms of when you were looking at trying to move some money around, do we have enough to pay him? Can it work out? Like $25 million is still very doable, and he wants to stay in Philly. So I'm just saying, like, in terms of 25 now is not what 25 felt like 2 days ago. Feels like it's, a cheaper discount because you got a lot more to work with. So I'm not saying that in terms of the other free agents. You're right. In terms of the other free agents out there, it's fair game, and that doesn't necessarily help us. But I'm saying that Reddick wants to be in Philly, and he's not a free agent. Like, he's got to get traded, and then you end up having to, figure something out with his contract, or you get a contract done. It's a, sign and trade, whatever. But he's not a free agent. So I'm just saying, I think that helps in terms of the Reddick one in particular. Maybe not as much for the specific free agents. Justin with the super chat, the 5, appreciate it, man. Says, how would you feel about the Eagles trading for Jabril Peppers on the Patriots? Loved him at Michigan, and he could play hybrid safety linebacker. Yeah, that's a good question. Let me look up. I don't know what his contract is exactly. I love the idea of athletes, and we can get into that too because Vic Fangio was, I don't know, there's rumors. I don't know if it's Fangio or just a source with a team or if it's somewhat of Howie, but not feeling exactly like they have the right type of athletes to make those plays on the defensive side of the ball. I'm also curious too what you would have to give up for Peppers, but let's see here. Yeah, just the 1 year, 3.1 for the base. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that necessarily. Again, there's free agents out there, so that would be the only part to me where, can they find someone without having to trade an asset to get rid of? But if it's not a lot and you like him in that sense, it would feel like probably more of a short-term rental. But you're right. I mean, he played well. Could be a potential option. Because I've kind of gone back and forth. Like, do you want we kind of need a long-term answer maybe at one of the safety spots, but the other one, I feel like Sidney Brown I still think he can be the guy. Like, he's not going to be there till probably October, though, with the injury. But it's still like, how much do you go and really invest in like a long-term option versus, hey, if it's a Jabril Peppers, if it's another veteran free agent signing, that might make some sense. It just kind of comes down to, again, what the trade value is, or what you'd have to give up for him. We have a lot of fifth-round picks because of the comp picks last season, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any of those that come back, this year, or you add to that total for the following draft. But still, there's options if you have late round picks or later round picks that you want to trade for. And Howie's going to be active. Like, we all know that because Howie has I always forget how many trades it is per draft. Is it 4? Is 4 the average? It's something fairly high. So he's going to trade at least a couple times. But yeah, however you can get athletes, honestly, I like the idea of hybrid safety linebacker, get some faster, quicker, more athletic guys. Vic Fangio apparently wants that. That's the report from Jake Rabati of the Liberty Line. Shout out to Jake. Let me pull up the official report here, if I can find that real quick. And then, yes, for people that are wondering, we are going to spin here in just a little bit. So if you have not gotten in on the A.J. Brown jersey giveaway, I had to rep tonight, but make sure to do that. There's details in the description. Just go comment on that video, and we're going to spin here in just a bit. But yeah, here's the report kind of referencing that as far as getting playmakers, athletes, making a difference. So according to Liberty Line, has spoken with, which again, shout out to Jake because he's had a lot of really good stuff as far as the Eagles official visits at the Senior Bowl, has a connection as far as visits that'll happen at the Combine, I believe. And so, some breaking news as far as that goes and contract values. I think his has been the first before other people that have broken it. So make sure to go follow if you haven't already. But it says, well, according to sources, it's safe to assume there's going to be a philosophy change once again. The Eagles defense will look different in 2024. I mean, naturally, we figured it'd be a little bit different. But still, as far as the personnel department, Fangio's defense relies on linebackers who are fast, athletic, and can cover. The Eagles currently have 0 linebackers who fit their bill. But a source predicts Howie Roseman and company will pour a significant amount of resources into the position compared to last season. So, again, not exactly sure where or who the source is, whether it's very close to Fangio or within the Eagles organization there. But again, he's broken news on the contract specifics, so he's well aware enough of the birds and those deals that are getting done. So I'll be curious to see, do we actually see this come to fruition in free agency, and how much does Howie spend? You got a little bit more, so does everybody else. But still, there's a potential, maybe. You're saying there's a chance that Howie goes after a linebacker. I would love to see the day that he does that. Maybe he makes a splash. But I don't think that you could argue that there's, the guys that you really need or want at that position on this roster. Maybe you can. Maybe that's something out there. Let's see here. Let me get to some of the other comments. I was catching up with the super chat and answering some of those, but let me get to this. Yeah, Philly 416 says Maddox is gone. I feel like he's probably yes. Batman Swin says Van Ginkel or Von Ginkel, but I know what you're saying there. I think that Van Ginkel is an automatic if Reddick does not. If they can't get a deal worked out and then you figure out a way to trade him, Van Ginkel feels like the biggest lock to be an Eagle out of any potential free agent or anybody there. Jay says, too many stiffs in the secondary. We need agile, athletic, fast players. Yeah, we need to get younger, faster, more physical, have intensity, play with intensity. There's a lot of different things. But I think we're going to see that. Again, we've talked about Howie and how he loves or how they got their man as far as the defensive coordinator. But I think he's going to go out there and he's going to see. He's going to recognize mistakes. He's going to make an impact and get the guys that Fangio needs. Because I think Fangio, it's not that Desai necessarily didn't say this. We don't know. There's no reports of it. But I'm just saying, like, Desai doesn't have as much clout of coming into the organization and being like, hey, no, I need this, or we don't have the right safety. We don't have the right linebacker, whatever. Like, Fangio has been around for a long time. So if he goes to Howie, he can just be like, hey, look, man, I think that we're okay here, but I need you to go get me a linebacker. I need you to go get me a starting safety. I need you to go get me a corner, something. It feels like it would come from a different place of, I don't know, more respect or understanding. At least that's what I'm thinking. Iron Mike, what's up? Says Howie won't go over 19 mil for Reddick. Maybe not. Again, 19 million is different now than it was 2 days ago. 19 million feels like what's 13-ish%, like another 2-ish million, something like that. 2 to 3, somewhere in there. So 19 million is about like 22-ish. It's close. Zapper guy, what's up? Said I listened to AJ's call. Ike was disingenuous about WIP's role in the rumors. It was Fritz who put out the Twitter poll about AJ being traded. Yeah, I mean, look, I feel for Ike, honestly, because of all people to try to, put out the fire or clean it up, play peacemaker, whatever you want to call it. I mean, why is Ike having to be the one to be in that position? Like, he's been a part of it, and he knows what it's like being a player and the media and everything else. It just felt very awkward and forced for him. Because from what I've heard and listened to, Ike has not been the one to start any rumors, have not been anyone to go overboard and speculate and all this other stuff. Sure, he comments on things that get brought up on the show because, he's there and he's another voice, but I don't think that he has been the one personally, and so I felt bad for him. I really did. Now, the WIP in general, I'm glad that AJ clowned him and just roasted, but he was put in a terrible spot. I don't know if it was just use the connection with AJ there or what the necessary part was, but it was, I don't know, unfortunate for him. Super chat from Cisco Jr. Appreciate it. Got the 2, says, what's up? What is that? Vatos? I don't know what that is. Maybe I should. But have a great weekend, Eagle Nation. All love. Appreciate it. Sorry if I should know what that is. Okay. It says used to address or refer to a man, I'm assuming. So, like, I guess just the group. I don't know if I've heard that before. But what's up? Appreciate it. Let's see. Let's go. Oscar just became a member. Heck yeah. Shout out to you. The Let's Run It tier. There you go. Philly 416, how do I get into the giveaway? Let me throw this one up here just again. We're going to give away just in a second. If you've not already, it's in the description. Let me make sure it's in the description. I think it is. Yeah, so it's right in the description, first line, enter the AJ Brown giveaway. If you click that link, it should take you to my previous video. So you're going to go away from the live briefly, but you can come back to us. But go to that video and type in always open. Comment always open. That's all you got to do. It enters you into the drawing for the AJ Brown jersey, and it'll be whatever jersey, whoever wins, whatever jersey you want. It could be black one, Kelly green, midnight green, white one, I guess. Whatever they offer. Your choice, your option. But yeah, go enter that right now. I'll give it another 5-ish minutes maybe for people that are hanging around, and then we will spin this thing. Alex Cruz, what's up? Says, a little late. What did I miss? Not a ton. Hey, we've just been getting going here, but talking about AJ and the interview to WIP, calling them out for rumors and fake reports and everything else. He did also comment on, let's see, I'll pull this one up. But he did comment on the issue with the relationship with Jalen Hurts and that whole Craig Carton rumor, and then people taking a run with that, saying that he thinks it's BS. I'm not going to let our relationship get into our relationship on the air. It wasn't a problem when I was on a 6-game win streak. They only started talking about it when we started losing. So again, making something out of nothing. AJ said that he wants Jalen to be himself. He supports him. And, also whenever he was attacked on, let's see, I'll put this one up here too. Whenever he was attacked on his sideline altercations and things that we see, but we don't get extra insight into. He's saying, you see me getting upset on the sideline, you automatically think it's about targets. No, what if I'm holding my players accountable? What if I'm the guy who pushes everybody in the locker room? Again, kind of similar stuff from what we'd seen previously or heard previously, whenever he tweeted, what was it, about a month ago, maybe? A little bit longer than that, month and a half, something. And he's like, I'll speak tomorrow, because it had been a while since he had talked. It's very similar. I mean, he told us a lot of the same things, but unfortunately, some people did not listen to it, or they just wanted to speculate more because it's like, oh, we haven't heard from AJ anymore. And, maybe he's upset. But he answered back, They said, what do you want to talk about? Or what should be upset, concerned, whatever. They said, your happiness being here in Philadelphia. And AJ says, why would someone even think I wasn't happy? And it's like, well, you didn't talk to the media for a little bit. And then, duh. It's like, AJ's like, you wonder why? You see what the media is doing right now this past whole month. You wonder why no matter what I say, you guys are going to make a story anyway. And shift his words and everything else. So again, if you haven't listened to the full interview, I encourage you to. I retweeted it. It's a link to the entire interview. And AJ was awesome. Again, just for the record, I'll throw this one up here too, but his Twitter account is officially him. So if you temporarily unfollowed or thought that it was not AJ or whatever, it's officially him now. So however much was trolling or it was legit, that is his Twitter account. Christine says, Reddick loves Philly. I hope he stays. I do too. Douglas says, defensive players that can cover and tackle would be nice. I agree. Yes. Could we please have some of those? That would not be, no qualms for me there. That is something that would be much obliged if we can add that. Let's see here. Marty, what do you think about bringing in Xavier Howard since he worked with Vic? Yeah, I saw that. Let me see if I can pull up the, just for a graphic here in case people didn't. I'd bookmark it here in a second. But yeah, Xavier Howard, I love. You guys, I think a lot of people know this. I went to Baylor, so Xavier and me graduated, I think. Yeah, we graduated the same year. So covered him during the football games, on the road, at home. We voted him, it's just a student newspaper, but still we voted him the defensive MVP at Baylor. There's a reason he was drafted so high. He's been really good. Not the best last season, but yeah, the fact that he's got the connections with Vic Fangio and the Dolphins are going to be releasing him, it's an interesting thought. Could you potentially look at bringing him over as a veteran corner? Does he have something left? He'll be familiar with the system. Again, I got a little extra emotional connection there probably. So would I like it? Yeah, it'd be cool to have Xavier Howard in Midnight Green or Kelly Green. I don't know that he's a long-term answer, but who knows? Maybe he wants to sign on for a short-term deal, and if you get him for just, nothing crazy, then maybe he can keep up at that level of, or find, I guess I should say, find that level of play. He's been good for a really long time. So, but he is 30, well, I think, 31? Or going to be turning 31? So, yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Let's see. David, got the other super chat here. Appreciate the 5. Thanks for the content. Love the show. Always on point. Go Birds. Appreciate that. Go Birds. Heck yeah, man. And Cisco with the other one, the follow-up, says, I'm from the hood, brother. Vatos is part of our slang. Okay, all right. I never, so I learned something new, but I appreciate the support. All right, let's see here. Yeah, Cool Rains. Hi, Josh. Just got here. Have you drawn the winner for the A.J. Brown jersey? Nope, not yet. We're just about to, so that's good timing. That's why I wanted to throw that comment up there. Frankie Ray says, good timing on the A.J. jersey giveaway and the interview. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why I did it in the past video. So if anybody has not watched it yet, it's the most recent one that I did. But last night, whenever he requested to interview with WIP, I was like, all right, you know what? We've done so much of, there's so much hate towards AJ, so let's support him, and apparently there's lots of AJ jerseys that have been purchased today, which makes sense to support him in general. But I was like, let's give him one away. We got to. So, yes, I'm going to do that now for people that are not as aware, and then we'll get back to the comments and everything else. But you would have just had to comment always open on the past video, and that enters you into it. So let me make sure and update this thing here. And then we will spin this. Good luck to all. Okay, we got a ton. I think we have like 600 something entrants here. So chances are slim, I know, but good luck to everybody. Let me make sure and share this screen. Make sure you guys can see this. It's not the most flattering spinner wheel, but I guess whenever we have this many people to begin with, it can't make it that great. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't know if it's going to let me here. No, it won't. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, those are the list of every single name that commented always open. So good luck to everybody. We're going to spin this thing, and here we go. Who's it going to be? Who will win the A.J. Brown jersey? Oh, come on. It didn't show it up in the same screen. All right, I'll scroll down. Let's see if it'll let me go all the way down. There you go. It's, of course, it's going to be someone that has a random user ZB8XE3VO6U. Congratulations. There's like a person with a what is that? A snowmobile, I think, icon in the image. Congrats to you. I'll look up this user. Maybe I can get a little bit more info. But congrats, you've won the AJ Brown jersey. Just claim it. You got to DM me either on Twitter. You can follow me that way. The email is I will put the email in the description. I'm gonna comment, I guess, the email here too, just in case you're here. If you are not and you're watching this back or whatever, just comment on either this live stream, comment on one of my videos. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll find you, but just comment and hit me up about the jersey. I'll give it a week, and then if I don't hear from you, we'll spin it again. We'll do another chance for everybody. But congrats to you there. User ZB8XE3V06U. And send me a screenshot too. I need to make sure that it's you. So I need to see all the info there to make sure. But congrats. Got the AJ Brown jersey. Yeah, like Fitness Warrior says, if you've seen the stats, he is literally always open. That's the truth. He is. I mean, he's the best against single coverage. There's not even a debate of that. Where's the graphic? I'll throw it up there. PFF had the graphic first, I think. Yeah, there you go. AJ Brown, single coverage. The last 2 seasons, first in receiving grade, first in receiving yards, and tied for first in receiving touchdowns. Just automatic. And we know that. And we saw it. Let's see. Go back to the comments here on AJ and free agency and everything else. So Philly 416 can't trade Reddick. Howie, please get this guy extended. Yeah, I'm totally with you. I really prefer to do that. Who knows though? Realistically, I don't know what the percentages are, but it's going to be difficult. Still, I think, just looking at the way Howie typically does stuff. Where he says, "What are the odds we can actually get Van Ginkel and Howard?" I would say fairly high. I mean, certainly from Van Ginkel. I don't know about Howard. I'm not sure what he might command and if other teams are going to take a look at him and get a corner. So he might be a potential of bringing over here. Again, the point of being familiar with Fangio's system is a possibility. I don't know which guys, like, because, the report of Vic Fangio, there were some players that thought he was fine, didn't have a problem. There were some players that didn't care for him, had issues, didn't like his coaching or his play style or whatever. And mainly, I think, having to do with just the fact that he demands a lot out of players. You got to film study and preparation and everything else, which I love. I mean, I think that's great. There's not a reason to dislike that. But some players didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know who that was. So, assuming that neither Van Ginkel or Howard had an issue with it, then I'd say it's fairly high because they're familiar with him. They would at least be, potential cheaper options. I mean, I know certainly Van Ginkel would. To me, it just feels like with his is a little bit more of, like I said earlier, if Haason Reddick comes back, I don't know that you resign. I don't know that you resign Reddick, but who knows? The other part of this, too, is, Xavier Howard, how much is he going to be looking at for a contract? I think his is a little bit more uncertain of, how much would he want? Would he come back? Kind of what are you talking about there? But if you look at his contract, which, again, a lot of this is going to be, hasn't been officially updated, but once he does get released officially, it'll be different. But the contract that he signed was a 5-year, $90 million contract. And a $36 million guaranteed. So if you're looking at the base salary, 15.4 is what he got this year, 13.15, and so on and so forth. But I mean, he's got to know if he's getting released, he can't command that type of money. But still, is he what, like a $10 million? You know, do you spend a close to a $10 million? You're hoping that he can, return to form a little bit from that standpoint. I don't know. That's why I say Van Ginkel to me feels very likely. Howard, I'm not 100% sure. Be cool to have him on my team again. That'd be nice. Zapper guy, any word on whether Isaiah Rodgers is going to be eligible to play this year with the rule changes? I mean, I think he is. I don't know that they've officially ruled it, but I was just double checking to see if there's any other update, but yeah, I mean, basically, applying for reinstatement, assuming that he gets the approval. I don't see why he wouldn't. I guess we'll see. He's gonna have to, I'm sure jump through some hoops and make sure he does what he needs to, whatever. But I can't imagine that he wouldn't. I mean, again, if you're going to take a look at past experiences with players, like a Calvin Ridley or others that have gambled on the games, like eventually they return, they get reinstated. I feel like you'll give them another chance. I can't say it officially because I don't know, and we haven't seen any additional reports. But it would shock me if he doesn't. I think that everybody's going into this planning that he's going to be an option for cornerback. But we'll see. Yeah, just in case, I know everybody's saying there's a bot. Chris Sims burner account. Okay, if I find out that it's Chris, I'm not shipping that to him. Chris ain't getting nothing. We will do it again though. So seriously, like everybody that's here on the live stream, and if it doesn't get claimed, I will say this: if it doesn't get claimed, we'll do it on one of the live streams. So and it'll be just whoever's there during the live. So we'll probably do it like on a Friday night hangout or something like that. But also housekeeping, I should say, for the OGs that are normally here for every live stream. Next week, I will not be doing a Friday night hangout, unfortunately. So I'll be on a bachelor cruise for my younger brother, David, and we're going to have a good time going to Cozumel. So will not be available for the live stream on Friday. So just, FYI, heads up. LA Kid, thanks for all the giveaways this past season, Josh. Your generosity is admirable and appreciated. Go Birds. I appreciate that. You guys know. I mean, y'all are the best, and so anytime that I can, try to give back. Do a lot of different giveaways. I think that there were at least two games that I gave tickets to for people that had never actually been to an Eagles game. And shout out to Robert and I think it's I'm gonna forget the name. I think it's Robert and Alyssa, but I might misremember her name. Apologies, but they ran into me literally when I went to the Miami game. Ran into me right outside the pro shop, and I had bought tickets because I wanted to give them away to somebody. And they came up and they're like, hey, oh my gosh, which I don't know, it's weird, and I'll never get used to if anybody recognizes me. But then I was like, hearing their story, and I think it's okay to say this, like that no one really knows them probably on the stream, but they're getting married in April. And so they didn't have money to save up to go to a game. And so I was like, well, heck yeah, like you're going to go to the game tomorrow. And so, anyway, gave those tickets. But that to me is the best part about all this, is like just to make moments, make memories. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff planned this coming season. So keep an eye out. Appreciate you guys. Also got the deal with SeatGeek. You'll have seen a couple of those ads, I'm sure, if you're watching the videos, but should, lead into a little bit more giveaways as well. Iron Mike probably go Trenches first pick. Wouldn't shock me. Cole Rains brings up a good point, even though we're going to have to mention the name here. Do you think the salary cap went up because more people watched this season? The Swifties, yeah, maybe, probably. There was a ton more that subscribed to New Heights and Chiefs and Eagles and watching the games and everything else. So yeah, it couldn't hurt. It got a lot more views that way. So in a cool tone, I'm not as high on Van Ginkel as everyone else. Bring on the Tampa Bay boys, Devin White and Levante David. Potentially. I mean, it'd be an upgrade, so I don't hate it. If you don't go Van Ginkel, get another linebacker. Yeah, Jay says Edgerrin Cooper is going to be a beast. I think so. I think he really is. To me, it feels like if you were to go that route, though, is Howie signaling that, there's not as much belief in Nakobe Dean. I know there's two spots, but yeah, it just feels like Cooper could be that green dot wearer eventually for whoever he lands with. Although John saying Ginkel was solid in Miami, has experience, and is cheap. Also still has some tread left. Yeah, that's... To me, Van Ginkel's not a, I don't know, major signing, sexy signing, whatever you want to say, like a big-time name. But I think that he'd be really efficient, really effective. He's not a player that you have to worry about, I think, in terms of, is he going to give effort and hustle? As opposed to, physically gifted type of player like a Chase Young who's been linked to Philly, and I know everybody's getting linked to Philly, but I think it was Tim McManus, I believe. ESPN had the report. I did a video about it, but now I'm drawing a blank of who that reporter was. I think it was Tim McManus linking Chase Young to the Eagles. Potential for, hey, do you sign him? You could get him for, I think, $13 million a year was the estimated what it would cost. I mean, he might have some tools. He might be more physically gifted in that sense than Van Ginkel. But if you're talking about effort and energy every single play, I have one player that I know that I don't have the question of Van Ginkel, and the other player of Chase Young that I don't know. He can look good sometimes, and there's a lot of plays you could pull up and be like, what are you doing? Bro, you were just going through the motions, lazy, not there, doesn't show up. So, I don't know. Feels like it's more of a sure bet, even though, yes, you're not paying as much. It's not like a superstar prospect coming in or a superstar coming in. Christine says, you and Tom should get together to do something with Kelce in the offseason to help people. Heck yeah. If you have any connections or anyone has any connections ever, we're totally down. Anything we can do to team up with Kelce and help people. I mean, I'm all for that, but I highly doubt that there will ever be an instance in my lifetime besides, just maybe running into, running into Kelce at some fan event or something. I know that happens, but other than that, like an actual collab of sorts, yeah, I mean, I guess it's not impossible, but it'd be a lot of fun. Rich King, what's up? How's it going? J. Ross, please make a video highlighting the best Brown snippets. I mean, I've used several in various videos talking about him, but yeah, a specific highlight video, we'll see. I might try to get around to that. I've struggled with time, to be honest, because I'm trying to put out as much content as possible, um, but we might be able to make that happen. Fitness Warrior, hey Josh, I missed the Zoom call. When's the next one? Yeah, it'll be it's the last Friday of every month, so it'll be what is March? What's the last Friday then? That is the 29th, Good Friday. Yeah, so we'll do it on the 29th of March, I suppose. But yeah, I think I have it set up. Yeah, I think I've got it set up recurring for every last Friday of every month at 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So just a little hangout, had a good time. Talking birds and everything else was actually kind of cool. I had a couple people there that were, I think, both in Georgia. So got to link up and connect for a potential outing there. So always good. Tracy Ann says, this year seems like make or break for Nakobe. Without a doubt. I think that it is for sure a make or break for Nakobe. And maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit sad in the sense of like, he was a rookie his first year. TJ took his spot. Kaiser, both those guys played well or well enough. And then the injuries last season, it's not like it was extremely, I don't know. It's not like it was extremely promising in the limited action that we saw beforehand, but then the injuries, naturally caused him to not have opportunities to get back on the field and prove himself and everything there. So, yeah, he's going to have to do a decent amount, though. This is the season to prove it if he's the guy or if you're possibly moving on, or I don't know if Howie maybe drafts a linebacker this draft anyway to say, well, we got to have a backup plan in case. But it does seem like he needs to get something. In a cool tone, I just seen a picture of our free agent punter. He looks like a young old man, if that makes sense. Like, okay. Now I need to look this up. You're talking about Braden Mann, right? Young old man? I'm curious which picture you're referring to, but a young old man. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I could see that. Let me put this up here for people to see if I can get this to go full screen. Maybe I can zoom in on it quite a bit. I'm going to sit here and hate on Braden Mann, though, just for his appearance. I mean, again, a young old man, that's an interesting way to describe that. He does need to be brought back. I will say that. He did a really good job. A little shaky at the start, but did a really good job. Young old man. Rich King says he does look old. It's a very interesting way to describe it, though. Not gonna lie, I've not heard that one before. But you know what? He did well. He did. Let's see. Where was the official stats? It's 49.8 average. Solid. 34% inside the 20. Net 43.9. That's huge. 43.9. Easily the best of his career. I'd say bring it back. Bring back the young old man. His name's Man, too. Ivan, what's up? Says Kellen Moore was a young old man. Chris, it's like he had a Benjamin Button disease and someone played an Uno reverse card. Good gosh. Zaffer guy says, man, just looks like he needs some hemoglobin. Bro, what the heck? Getting off on Braden Mann appearance. I was a little surprised to see the punt god got signed by the Chiefs. Of course, the Chiefs get him. You know, if any team is eventually going to take him and see how he works out. And because the Chiefs got him, you know, even though the knock was like, hey, he can boot it a mile, but he can't place it anywhere, he probably won't have any issues with that. It'll probably be coffin corner, 70-yard punts, and, you know, nobody will be able to do anything. Twisty, any players you got your eye on in the combine next week? Yes. I'm not going to give away too much info. I will give away some, but I'm going to do a video coming out pretty soon with Anthony DeBona, who is official NFL draft, or not NFL draft, official NFL analyst for Pro Football Network now. So makes it even more official as a guest of the show. But breaking down the combine, guys to keep an eye out for, who to watch next week. So it should be like a really good list of different positions, players, and everything else there. Me personally, I'm keeping an eye out for the corners. And I think that granted, you look at like a lot of the bigger name prospects and stuff like that, but I think that corner is a position, like I've talked about before, if at 22 it falls the right way for you, I think that could drastically change things. Maybe Howie decides to go there. Quinyon Mitchell is my favorite, so, you know, I would love to see that, but I know that there's what's his name? I always forget him from Clemson. What his name is? Is it Nate Wiggins? Why do I always want to say Mitchell? Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe it's just because of Quinyon, and I'd say that. But yeah, it's Wiggins. Okay, yeah, I thought it was Wiggins. But yeah, Nate Wiggins, Ennis Rakestraw. There's like Daniel Jeremiah said. There's I think he said 15 guys roughly that he sees that are top 3. Like top 3 rounds for corners. So it's a really deep class, but he also said it's very justifiable to take or for more than, you know, a few corners to go in the first round. So there's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of good talent in this draft for corners. So positionally, I'd say those are some of the guys and some of the positions that I'm going to be looking at. But again, it'll be very in-depth and the next video coming out. So keep an eye out. Probably, we'll see. Maybe this weekend that it'll drop. At the latest, it'll be Monday, but we'll see if we can get around to it. Speaking of the combine and draft, Tracy Ann asks a good question. What's the likelihood that Howie trades up in the first round? I think it's incredibly high. I don't know percentage-wise if I had to put something on it. I mean, he loves to do trades in general, so I really, like, if I had to predict right now, I would say that we don't take our pick at 22. I think it's either at, like, 16, 17, something like that, a guy is available still, and Howie trades up to go get him, or you get to 22 and you're kind of like, I don't love it, and you trade back. I don't know what the Vegas odds, do they have it yet? They might not. I know eventually they'll have draft props, but the Vegas odds of will Philadelphia take a pick at 22? Let's see. It's probably too early to have those odds. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Eventually, though, like I say, it'll be up there. And it's always a good bet. It's a good bet to be made that trades will happen. Yeah, because it's usually 3 or 4 in every single draft. Who's the guy, to follow up on this question too, curious to hear from you guys, and I'll get to some of these other comments that I see coming in. Who would you trade up for? To Tracy Ann's question here. What is the likelihood that he trades it? Let's say that Howie does trade up. Who's the guy that you go ahead and make that happen? Justice for George says Quinyon Mitchell is the only one that he trusts. If not Quinyon Mitchell, trade the pick. Philly 416 says Cooper DeJean. Rich King, either Mitchell or Terrion Arnold is who I would pick. Fanny says, I guess replying to Brian, but also J.C. Latham. Watch him at the Combine. Brian Wiggins is a good shutdown corner. Doesn't like to stick his nose in there to tackle, though. Yeah, I agree. Twisty says, yeah, Wiggins or Mitchell would be nice to pair with Ringo and have two young corners that can grow together. I like the idea of the youth. Definitely longevity there. Yeah, without a doubt. I think unless something crazy happens, and I don't know exactly what that would be. I don't know what that would look like necessarily, but to me, Quinyon Mitchell is my favorite option. And then there's, I don't know, I could see a couple different ways. Although, again, like Rich King says, DeJean is a good option. That dude's an athlete. The Eagles love their athletes, too. That is a guarantee. Maybe since the Jalen Reagor decision, too, which got brought up. But, you know, when you look at the past drafts and how he kind of learning or taking a lesson from the past. I mean, there's your. I'm kind of in the way on a couple of them, but there's your athletic grades, right? So you take Jalen Reagor. We all know how terrible that was. I didn't like it to begin with just because he is at TCU and I went to Baylor, but you know, either way. Didn't work out. You look at the athletic score and you're like, okay, great. Didn't take a great athlete there. Not that athlete is the only thing, and there's tons of proof points to, I guess, disprove this still. So there's 2020, and then the point that was being made after this was it might have shifted Howie's mindset. Because then you look at 2021's draft class, and granted, you know, some of these don't have scores based on the tests or the metrics there, but still, you got Milton Williams that's off the charts, Zach McPherson, Kenny G, not so much, not great, Marlon Tuipulotu, not as much, but still, the first couple picks that you had that are at least recorded, and then you go to 2022, and oh man, you want to take a 10 and a 994 in athleticism in JD and Cameron Jurgens. Should say, I don't know why I said Cameron. I'm reading it. Cam Jurgens. Does anybody call him Cameron Jurgens? Anyway, yeah, and then, you know, Kieran Johnson, Calcaterra, they're also crazy high on the athletic score. And then, as we all know, this past draft, I mean, you took a bunch of athletes. You literally took all athletes. I don't know if I can move my... Nope, I can't. It's frozen. I can move it after the stream. I was going to try to move my head. It's not doing that. Anyway, so you took a bunch of athletes, and Nolan 923, 946 for Tyler Steen, 968 for Sidney Brown. You can't see it here, but Keely Ringo's 829, Tanner McKee 881. I didn't realize Tanner McKee's that great of an athletic score, but hey, Tanner McKee 881. Moro Jomo 917. So out of a scale of 1 to 10, you know, the plan shifted a bit. But yeah, I think there's a you know, argument to be made if you take a look at who the best athlete is. So again, I think that's why there's it's not everything. Everybody knows that, but there is a reason to say, hey, look at the combine, see how guys perform, and then figure out where that stack ranks against the rest of the field, and then automatically go, what position of need is there for us? We need a linebacker, we need a safety, we need a corner, and then just go through the board and be like, hey, who are the top athletes in all those? I think that's not a bad plan or a bad philosophy to say, let's see who is probably piquing Howie Roseman's interest. Seems to be the last several drafts. You go after the athletes. But Cooper John is for sure. I mean, that's not a question. He's a ridiculous athlete. Cool Reigns, that's true. That's a good point. Says we might not draft in the first round and we trade it for Surtain or another ready young cornerback like we did with AJ. That's true. If you got another team that's willing to part ways or looking to offload somebody that you're interested in, that's not out of the question. Wouldn't mind it. I mean, if you got a deal done that we like and you're going to have to pay Surtain, but yeah, if you figure out a way to do it that doesn't give up too much. Diego, just for giggles, could you imagine him drafting Marvin Harrison Jr.? Yeah, and like what? Trade up how high? Like what are you trading away to move all the way up there too? Brian says, I think John could be that Troy Vincent type that can move to safety when it's time. Yeah, you like the versatility too. Bald Eagle, wow, the draft was awful. Yeah, there's I know, you can look back and there's several instances where we've missed. That's no lie. I agree. Yep, still can't believe we didn't take Justin Jefferson. I wanted him so badly there. We were taking a receiver, and then whenever Jalen Reagor goes off the board, I'm like, oh my gosh. K-Dude, what's up? AJ is a real one. He is. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Tracy Ann says we should start calling Cam Jurgens Cameron. I think that's literally the first time it's ever come out of my mouth there is to call him Cameron because I saw it and read it. And you guys know from past streams, I'll read anything on the teleprompter, but I don't think I'd ever seen that before. But, his name was right there, so I said Cameron Jurgens. That just feels so weird. It's Cam Jurgens. Beef jerky. The K-Dude, the Eagles should draft Cole Bishop in the 3rd or 4th round. He's pretty decent safety. Definitely take a look. Douglas, what are your thoughts on them tapping into Georgia again this year? I mean, it's never out of the question. Howie loves his Philly dogs. You got a lot of them, though. And I don't know. I mean, if you were to stack rank where the Philly dogs are in terms of like your confidence level, who's at the front? Right? Like let's say you got to rank these. Jalen Carter to me is a given. I don't know of anybody who's going to argue that. So we can go ahead and just say Jalen Carter at 1. But you got Jalen Carter, you've got Nolan Smith, you got Keely Ringo, Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis. There's 5 guys there. I'm not forgetting anybody, Emma. 5 guys, Philly dogs that we're going with. Level of confidence. Who are we going with? 1 has got to be Jalen Carter, surely. You can't convince me otherwise of confident in some other Philly dog. But let's say you go Jalen Carter. Who's number 2? Who's 3, 4, 5? I mean, there's some things to like. JD started the season much better, and then very poor on the back half of the season, or even a little bit longer than that, maybe. But certainly the back half with the not being conditioned great, kind of got banged up. Said that he wasn't able to go the full season, so it's a learning lesson. Nolan, who I love, like very high potential, thought he was going to be great, still think that he can be great. The shoulder thing scares me. I say that all the time. Maybe. But we didn't see anything this season to where you could go, wow, we hit a home run on that pick yet. Not saying he's a bust. So for people that are going to jump on that or think that he is, but still, Nakobe, kind of similar story. Have we been able to see enough of him actually on the field? I know he lost the job to TJ Edwards, Kaiser White. He gets injured again this season. It's a prove it year, like Tracy Ann brought up a second ago. He's got to do something on the field. So, I know that Howie loves Georgia. I know he loves his Georgia Dogs. I love a lot of Georgia potential draft picks. There's good prospects. They have a lot of good NFL prospects and guys that turn out. But I'm just curious, does he, what at this point, double down, triple down, quadruple down, whatever we want to call it, on Philly Dogs? If someone falls to you at the right spot, sure. But as opposed to maybe last drafts, and I don't know if he did this, but as opposed to last drafts, of, maybe going, oh, hey, we got another Georgia player. That'd be kind of good, have a guy brought in here. I mean, he's visited the practices. I mean, he's loved what he's seen at the practices. So there's something to be said on that side. But again, I don't know. I think he'll look at it. That's not to say they're ruling out of the question, but I don't know if there's extra preference or anything on that side. Let's see. Super chat here. Bald Eagle, appreciate it. The 5 says, I have a sheet of paper of players I wanted in that draft. Needless to say, I wanted Patrick Queen at that pick. Go figure. Oh, man. Yeah. The number of drafts and the number of people that could say all the different options that we could have gone with or players is certainly, just definitely the reactions from people. Oh, and actually, I didn't see this other comment here, so let me throw up the other super chat. Appreciate the 2, man. It says, my buddy has a vid of me with the Rager pick. I would be curious, out of people that, do have videos of themselves, of any drafts, not just, Jalen Rager, but of any drafts in the past, certainly ones that didn't work out. How many of those were you just in absolute misery? Sometimes it's one of those where it's like, okay, I'm trying to talk myself into it, whatever. But there are some that I think all of us have been out there. I don't know that I have too many pics or too many videos of myself, unfortunately, because a lot of times it's been me watching by myself because, I've got a family full of Cowboys fans, so they're not really caring too much. But yeah, there's a couple instances. That is no lie. Well, speaking of Patrick Queen, Brent Davis says, Patrick Queen, please come to Philly. That would be great. Brian says, would you pass up on a Bama player just because you draft a bunch in the previous draft? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you pass up on a Georgia guy just because. I'm just saying, he's not, I don't think Howie goes out of his way to, pinpoint or look at Philly Dogs. Yes, that's true. The whole hypothetical of how Twisty says, if Howie did take Justin Jefferson, I think we wouldn't have taken Smitty and maybe even AJ. Yeah, you're probably right. That's the whole hypothetical. You could extend it even further beyond that, because it's like if he hadn't done that, then it changes. It's the butterfly effect. It changes everything. Like if he had taken Justin Jefferson, does he take Jalen Hurts? And even if he does take Jalen Hurts, does Carson Wentz play a little bit better? Do you salvage anything from that? You have an actual weapon that he can throw to. Does it not lead to his fall or whatever? There's so many places that we can go with that one. But it's in the past and we can't change it, unfortunately. Inlo, so where's AJ clip from the interview? Yeah, so I retweeted it. If you're not following on Twitter, it's at the PHI special, but retweeted it, and there's all over the place as far as what he said. I mean, we were just recapping his talking about a bunch of different issues, but he supports Jalen, said that he's the guy in the locker room that is the motivator, getting on people, keep holding them accountable. He said that he's and not putting anybody else on blast on the team. He's just saying like he's the dedicated, working hard, would put that up against anybody on the team. Like he knows who he is, loves Philly, doesn't have any beef, wants to be in Philly, wants to play for Philly. Knocking the media though and saying if anybody's creating more of these rumors, they should get a different job. Kind of went after, WIP and some of the others, but yeah, he said, look, ultimately it was execution and it was on us. The coaches, obviously some went, but he said, hey, we didn't execute well enough and, that should really be the end of story. And unfortunately it's not sometimes. So hopefully they give him the respect. But yeah, there's the clip out there on Twitter if you want to follow or go check it out. If not, we'll definitely have more of it. You can also search, I'm sure, I think on YouTube, WIP has the full clips, but I've also got that I just tweeted out. Tracy Ann, though, she does. Yeah, we do have a Bama offense and Georgia defense. Might as well keep drafting that way. We do have quite a bit. That is true. And following up, appreciate the two. Bald Eagle says, wasn't my proudest moment, I'll be honest. We all have those. I mean, whether it's an actual game, even regular season, sadly, I could say I've got a couple of those. But a game, playoff game, draft moment, you get a little emotional. I think it's understandable. Zach, what's up? Did I miss the giveaway? Yes, unfortunately, there was user QX304, whatever. I don't know. I don't remember the exact, but it's some random username. So they won temporarily, but we'll see if they actually follow up and get the or claim it. If they don't, we're gonna do it again. So it'll be for people that are on the live. I'm gonna probably give them about a week. I'm gonna be gone on starting, I guess, Wednesday next week, and then I'll be back like Tuesday. I think that's like March 5th, if I'm not mistaken. But whenever I get back, if they have not claimed it yet, then we'll do the giveaway again. But it'll just be for like anyone during the live stream because I'm not going to keep, drawing and waiting on somebody and everything else. So we'll do just the OGs that hang out on the Friday night live stream giveaway, and I'll announce it in plenty of time beforehand so people will know. But we will give it away if they do not claim it. Cool Rains. Mike McCarthy isn't going to the combine. Lazy guy. Isn't who else is not going to the combine? Aren't there a couple others? I think Sean McVay hasn't gone since like 2020. Could I be wrong to that? Scott, we trading our 2 for Justin Fields to get that QB factory going again. Yeah, good one. Fitness Warrior says, do you think they signed that young running back to sign King Henry for veteranship? Sorry, I saw another comment. I don't know, honestly. That one to me is kind of strange. The TDP signing, I guess, is the referral there. But yeah, Ty Davis Price, I don't know. I think he ends up being maybe a practice squad guy. You might find something else out of him and he does better. But to me, I can't envision that. I think it's just one of those signings that maybe you liked the guy during the draft a couple years ago, but whenever he's going to get drafted, didn't get him, see him available, maybe think you can get something out of him. But he wasn't even great in college. I mean, I think 4.6 yards a carry, I think, is what he had. I mean, if you're a good college running back, you're averaging what, like 6? Really close to 6 yards a carry? I mean, the top backs are well over 5 for sure. And I guess I shouldn't say like every back, but if you're the top back of the draft, you're in that close to 6 number. But even if you're a good back in college, 5.5. But the fact that dude's averaging 4.6, I mean, that's like, it's not great in college. And then in the NFL, he's 3.5 last season, I think, and 2.9 in his rookie year. It just, I don't know that all of a sudden you just wake up one day and you're like, well, hey, the yards per carry average just shoots through the roof. I think the writing's on the wall. He's just not that back that gets you those types of yards. It's been said, even scouting report, combination of vision, indecisiveness, inability to get going quickly. He needs a lot of volume carries to find himself. And I don't know. I think it'll be a depth signing. Like I say, I don't know. It's much more than that, but we'll see. Scott says the Rams haven't had a pick since 2020. Well, they've had a pick. They haven't had a first round, but he has had a reason, you would think, to still show up to the combine if he really wanted to. I mean, you get more out of that than everything else. And I'm curious because, I mean, you get interviews with players. That's the shocking thing to me, I think, is if he's not showing up, and I guess he's just trusting the other guys, but that's fine. I mean, they're all recorded, so you could watch it back, and that's fine. It's not like he doesn't get the info. But to me, if I was a head coach, I mean, I don't know, maybe this is different, but if I'm a head coach and I want to draft a player, I'm curious of getting guys on my squad, like I'm going to be in the room. I don't know, me being a recruiter, like having that experience of interviewing, maybe that's an extra part of it, of like just knowing the value of actually interviewing someone in person versus like over the phone or a virtual one. But still, it's like you can pick up so many other tells on somebody based on body language and eye contact and tone and everything else that's just very hard to pick up, even if you're getting a recorded deal or getting notes from someone else who did the interview and everything else. Me personally, I would want to be there, but I don't know, maybe it's maybe it's the micromanager control, wanting to have too much control. But you're the head coach for that reason. I would think you'd be the one to go. Daniel, what's up? Says, I can see Howie switching and investing in linebackers, not with running backs. 4 teams remaining all had great linebackers, only 2 invested in running back. Yeah, I would hope so. I definitely want to see him spend more at linebacker and would really prefer for him to go that route. Remains to be seen. We will see very soon because the free agency period is, I think March 13th, am I not mistaken? But yeah, get some guys there and make a significant impact. I mean, heck, the Super Bowl winner for the last 10 years, their leading rusher has not had a cap hit higher than $2 million. So that tells you, you don't have to pay running backs if you want to win in this league. Now, I know the 49ers made it, and they had a running back that they're paying a lot of money to. But if you just want to look at the last 10 Super Bowl winners, that leading rusher on the team has not had more than a $2 million cap hit. Kind of crazy. Brent says Jeremiah Trotter Jr. will be drafted by the Eagles in the NFL draft. Wow. Vinny says, I can see Nakobe being traded on draft day. That would be wild. I can't see that happening because, for one, it's like, what are you going to trade him for? Is the team really interested? You haven't seen anything from Nakobe Dean, so the trade value is nothing. And And Howie apparently loves him, and even if he doesn't, still, it's like, how much are you going to be able to get rid of or get back in a return for a trade on that? I don't know. That's seems highly unlikely. All right, 1 second. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna run to the restroom, so I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Hang on. All right, we're back. Vinny, good gosh. Okay, we're back. Yeah, like Twisty said, Winers, yeah, had that quarterback, could afford the running back. Tracy Ann, 49ers invested everyone but the quarterback, lost the Super Bowl. There's a flaw in their team building philosophy. Yeah, they're going to have to either pay for it or change drastically, and there's going to be a lot of shakeup. They're going to have to take a look at that. Cole Raines and Brent saying C.J. Gardner-Johnson, bring him back, come back to Philly. Ivan, I agree with Cool. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see C.J. Gardner-Johnson back, quite honestly. I just don't know that he wants to, and, just the way that the whole relationship fell apart at the end, or just the contract negotiations and all of their stuff there. I don't know. If the money's right, sure, maybe he does. I just don't know that Howie, even recognizing some of his faults and like what he could have changed, I don't know if he goes back and says, yeah, let's go ahead and get him. Cool, Raines. This is the new chant. Bring back CJGJ. Yep, Brent says Nolan needs to step it up, and Ivan says, I hope Nolan Smith warrants his first-round draft status. I hope so. I'm still positive about Nolan. I really think that Nolan's going to be, or has a chance to be good. He's going to have a guy that can teach him really well. Fangio can take advantage of his athleticism. He likes athletic, fast linebackers. So that is what Nolan Smith is. So there's a positive on that side. Nolan's raw, especially in terms of pass rushing. I don't know if you can take a major step, you can get him a second move in terms of pass rush. You can't just always blow past people, and he needs to get stronger. He doesn't need to get heavier necessarily, like some people have said. He just needs to get stronger. I don't know. It's possible, but yeah, he needs to hopefully warrant that draft status, because otherwise we're looking at it and going, man, okay, we we spent 31 and we could have had a couple different options. A couple good options. I think Sidney Brown can be good. But you also could have had Brian Branch instead of Nolan Smith. Yeah, Brian says CJGJ would have to eat his hat to come back. Prideful guy, so I doubt it. That's true. He did get hurt last season as well. Tracy Ann says, I think Nolan will be fine as long as he stays healthy. That's the big question, I think. Is the shoulder a legit thing? Is it a potential injury that's going to hinder him for a bit? Or is it something that, was a little bit more of a long-term recovery rehab from his past injury, but he's going to be all right? And that's where I'm struggling to know for sure. Just from the outside looking in and what we saw, it didn't give away the best vibes whenever we saw it at times, but yeah, I'm hopeful. Yeah, like right here, yeah, too. That's a good point. Van Ginkel did have his best season with Vic, so Nolan getting in a different spot. Well, Vinny says, imagine Patrick Queen and Devin White. Devin is only 26 years old. I mean, you'd have a dominant linebacking core. You'd have some, good potential there. But at the same time, I mean, the amount of money you pay for both of those guys bringing in, I feel like it's one or the other. You're going to get one of them and you're not going to get both. I mean, maybe not even one, but you're only going to get, I think, one bigger signing like that. To get two is just, I don't know. One is hard enough, I think, for Howie, but two seems impossible. Fanny not sold on Nolan, though. Says he's going to have to put a couple players out of commission for me to be convinced. We'll see. I just realized I don't even know why I have these on. I had them on for the member stream earlier because I needed them and just put them back on whenever I came back out of habit. Let's see. We did have official news on the Eagles coaches, though. So if people did not see this, just to throw this one up here real quick, the official Eagles coaching staff has been finalized. And let's see there. Yeah, there you go. So the coaching updates, or the official coaching updates, TJ Paganetti, run game specialist, assistant offensive line, which had to replace, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on who the previous assistant, but after he was poached or taken away, Ronell Williams, assistant linebackers, defensive quality control, Tyler Scudder, defensive quality control, Tyler Yelk, head coach quality control. That one's a interesting title. Maybe that's been there before, but that's an interesting just title to the actual job, head coach quality control. Doug Nussmeier, obviously, quarterbacks. Cal Valero, offensive assistant. Has ties with Kellen Moore. And Christian Parker, pass game coordinator, defensive backs. Clint Hurt, obviously, senior defensive assistant, defensive line. Bobby King, inside linebackers. Roy Anderson, cornerbacks. And Joe Casper, safeties. So, just officially, in case you hadn't seen that. Nothing crazy, nothing, I guess, too surprising or shocking there. Ronell Williams staying was maybe a little bit of a surprise to some people because that was expected that his late hire coming with Desai, might not hang around. However, he has coached with Fangio before, so sticking around with assistant linebackers seems like that'll be all right. But yeah, here's your official offensive and defensive coaching updates of the Nick Sirianni coaching staff. Zach says, would rather sign a backer than draft one. Trotter is my guy. All right. You think would rather sign a backer than draft one, but Trotter's your guy. So who would you rather sign, I guess? And Vinny asked, though, what type of year do you think Jordan Davis will have with the new D-line coach? I mean, I hope it's good. He needs to. We talked about the earlier comment of Nakobe Dean, and it's a chance to prove it, or he really needs to prove it. Like, JD's kind of in the same boat. Maybe even more so. Being a first-round selection, being picked that high, lots of athleticism, lots of potential. Can he stay healthy, ish? That's not as big of a question, but can he stay conditioned, or will he be conditioned? And, the weight that he's supposed to be playing at. I'm hopeful that he can. I do like Clint Hurt being there. I think that he's a good person to be in Jordan Davis's ear, coach him up. Fangio as well. I mean, he turned Akeem Hicks or helped get his career to, the much, I guess, kind of the taking off status whenever it did. So, I don't know. Does JD get to that level? Who knows? But you don't necessarily need him to. You still want him to make some improvements, and he has to. But yeah, if it's Clint Hurt, I'm interested to see what he can do with the defensive tackles, especially. But yeah, if I had to predict, I don't know. I feel like it'll be better, but it's kind of a similar question. I mean, JD technically probably took a little bit of a step forward, right, from last year, or from 2 years, however you want to look at it, but from his rookie season, he felt and looked more comfortable. But I mean, he's legit the guy. There's not a oh well, maybe there's Fletch, or you got some other options like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are the guys. And Milton Williams hopefully gets some more playing time than what he had, because I think that he can make more of an impact if he gets on the field. But still, you need JD to stay healthy and to be at that level. So, I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence, obviously, with him. Fitness Warrior, what I don't understand is there is a DB coach, a cornerbacks coach, and a safeties coach. Can you explain? Yeah, that's it. I know. There's sometimes redundancies and everything else. So, I don't know. With Christian Parker, he is, and I'll put this back up here just so we can see it, but there you go. Yeah, Christian Parker, pass game coordinator, defensive backs, and then, yeah, you've got your corners and safeties. It's sometimes it's the wording. I think whenever you hire a specific candidate or you're trying to move them over, you can't technically hire someone laterally. So if you were just going to say defensive backs coach, from what Christian Parker was doing previously, I think the Broncos could have blocked that. Now, a team can allow you to move if they don't really care to keep you, and you can get a lateral position. But if it's a legit poaching and a team's just stealing you, you have to have some sort of promotion, even if it's a little bit of title, tiny bit of responsibilities, whatever. So Christian Parker, he's given the passing game coordinator and defensive backs or over defensive backs. But I think the understanding is that he's kind of over Roy Anderson and Joe Casper. They're more specifically focused with just those players. But I mean, yeah, you've got like your defensive coordinator, and then you kind of in the hierarchy of things, Vic Fangio, Christian Parker, and then Roy Anderson and Joe Casper in terms of like the secondary specifically. So it's a lot of coaches, you know, in those areas. But Fangio's done this in the past for his defenses and likes to have a cornerback and a safeties, and then have the passing game coordinator too. So it's a promotion for Christian Parker. I love it because he's specifically a kind of a cornerback guru is how he's been described. And so, you know, if you draft a cornerback or you have a lot of potential in someone that you like, say it's a Quinyon Mitchell, perhaps, you know, Christian Parker's been around guys that he's coached up in that level. He coached Patrick Surtain. Now, I know that Surtain was a stud whenever he got to the league, but I'm not saying that Christian Parker made Surtain what he is, but still, I mean, he's accustomed to, hey, take a rookie, get them used to the speed of the game, and be able to produce at that level. So I at least like it. Twisty. Who do you think is bigger, Clint or Jordan Davis? Man, I don't know, bro. That's does anybody? They don't list coach sizes, unfortunately. I think on the web page or anything, do they? Let's see. To Clint, but yeah, like Fanny says, he's not a person; he's a freaking wall. Yeah, I forgot about that. Scott said they were laughing about how huge Clint Hurt was on New Heights. He's a beast. 007 says, why would you bring in Chase Young when Jordan Davis is having issues staying fit? Young is lazy and takes plays off. Yeah, I was talking about that a little bit ago. Just getting paid for his name. Yeah, I mean, it's a name. It's potential there. But again, to your point, it's questions of, is he going to give enough effort on most plays? And that's a decent amount of issue. I don't know for sure. I would be curious, but to me, it feels like Chase Young's is laziness. And yeah, I mean, like you're saying, Jordan Davis, issues of staying fit. I think he wants to, but sadly, he's just not. I don't know what it is. Is he not putting in enough work or effort in the offseason, or is it during the season just, you know, what, like not sticking to a diet possibly, or eating too much? Yeah, I don't know. It's not as much like mindset when he's on the field. I think JD tries. He's trying to give as much effort as he can, but just kind of inability to, based on his conditioning. Yes, agree with Brent. Chase Young is very lazy. All right, a couple more questions. Got to run and help the wife with the little ones and get them to bed. So we'll go just a little bit more here and then going to jump off. But appreciate everybody hanging out for the chat. And the giveaway for AJ, which we will still possibly be giving away if it doesn't get claimed. So we will see on that one. And like I said, should have a video up maybe this weekend at the latest Monday, but for coverage on who to keep an eye out in the combine, who the Eagles are interested in, visits, everything like that. Yeah, Tracy Ann says, didn't Jordan hurt his back during the season? Maybe dial back on the workout. That's true, possibly. He had the ankle injury for sure. I think it was the back. I don't know. Did he have a back injury? I know he had an ankle injury, and I know he had the hamstring injury. So it might have been both of those, but it could have been back too. I might be misremembering, but either way, that's a good point. Injuries kind of limited him, slowed him up. Maybe a combination of that, and if the diet was not what it was supposed to, I don't know. It just apparently the report was that he was a little bit overweight, out of shape. Yeah. Jordan Davis. Not a pass rusher. He's nose tackle, takes up space, and clogs gaps. 2 to 3 sacks at most for him. Yeah, you don't need major sack totals from him. It'd be great if he does all of a sudden. It's like, wow, okay, added benefit, nothing we planned on. But yeah, you just need him to be more of a force whenever he's taking up that space and, making it harder on running backs and on quarterbacks, pushing the pocket. He just kind of slowed up from that area or didn't seem to have it as much anyway. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I've been going for 2 hours, so appreciate again everybody hanging out. Well, I'll answer this last question here, and then we'll wrap it up. 007 said, so our cap went from projected 250 to, well, okay, not 300 million. I'm excited to see what Howie can do with it. I see at least 4 major signings. How about you? Yeah, I mean, the 255 that it's at, I think that nowhere near the 4 major signings, and I'm pretty sure that's a lot of sarcasm there, but it'll be, I think you might get 1 major signing, which even that would be kind of a win just for Howie and does he want to splurge? Because I'm hopeful that major signing is on like linebacker or maybe a corner, maybe a safety. But that's where I'm feeling. I think it'll be one of those major signings, and that'll be in that spot. 4 is nuts. There's no way that's 4 major signings. You gotta have it. You gotta have something else. Philly 500 pounds, another hour. Let's run it. I would love to. I gotta help the wife. You know, she's been managing quite a bit with the kids by this point, so she deserves it. She is the real MVP. Which again, got to make sure and take her to the Packers game in Philly this year. So it's try to remind her like, hey, we're gonna go do that. We're gonna go see your Packers. Hopefully lose, but go see your Packers nonetheless. Start throwing money at Josh so he stays. Bro. Depends on how much money we're talking about. If my wife sees that, she might be like, oh, okay, maybe, But no, I appreciate y'all guys. Reminder, we'll still do the Tuesday live Q&A. So that will still happen. The next Friday, which is that March? I think next Friday gets into March. It's March 1st. I'm going to be gone that Friday, so we won't have a Friday night hangout. So just for anybody planning, won't do that. But Tuesday night, we will still have it. Live Q&A Tuesday night. And more videos and shows and everything else to come in the next several days. So keep an eye out. And we got the combine next week, so we're almost there. It is crazy that we're just about through February, but we've done it somehow. And you got the combine, and then we're going to start doing the mock drafts, which we'll do live mock drafts on Friday nights. Probably once we get to April. We might do it like the last week of March, the last day of March. But yeah, we'll start doing those too. So keep an eye out. Appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. You might win the AJ jersey too. We might have to give that away again. But until next time, go Birds.